What's up?
Welcome back.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, Connor.
Yes, unfortunately, this episode will not come out on Cinco de Mayo, but
No.
we are recording on Cinco de Mayo.
That being said,
Revenge of the 5th.
I have been drinking. Revenge of the 5th, sir. Whoa!
This is a thing.
I have
did
not heard
just
this.
come up with
Okay, you just blew my fucking mind for a second there, man. I thought you had made that up.
No, I wish I could take credit for
Because
that.
like May the 4th be with you, and then Revenge of the Dude.
Star Wars references, bro.
Dude, that's good.
I got them down.
I wish that you had come up with that.
You heard it here first on the Counting Cryptids podcast.
I'd say that is the first I am hearing of it on Counting Cryptids. So there's that.
Maybe somebody else, it's their first time. This is the Emela-Ntouka episode.
So gonna go ahead and apologize in advance for pronunciation. Just pretty much the way that like every episode goes.
Should just do a pre-recorded I'm so fucking sorry.
Just like a pre-recorded intro, or like in the outro, be like, yeah, we're not fucking scientists. I'm not a goddamn doctor. Like, I know I said it wrong. It's fine.
You feel free to email us.
You clearly know what I'm talking about. It's okay.
Feel free to email us if you want to complain. I'm sure we'll apologize.
Connor's listening, I swear.
I check the email on a semi-regular basis, as well as a Facebook and
Semi-regular.
Twitter.
Okay, so Emela-Ntouka?
Emela-Ntouka. I like.
It's gonna be rough. There's a lot of other names for it too, just depending on specifically the region, I believe.
See the episode title if you want to check the spelling. Do some research yourself.
These are all. It's if you're used to English, these are weird words to read.
Yeah.
Like when it's like NJAGO, my brain's immediately like, I don't know what to do with that. The NJA,
Ninja. I got nothing.
Ninjago.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be offensive towards people that speak these languages.
No, again, yes.
I'm just dumbfounded at how to pronounce your language.
Supposedly it translates roughly to killer of elephants,
which is badass.
Metal as hell. After doing a little bit of research, I decided that it made sense to call it the Rhinocorn.
Rhinocorn is great, though I think rhinos only have one horn.
They don't. They have two.
Oh, they have that little one.
They have a regular one in the front, and then they got a little one. Some of them might only have one. But the ones there specifically don't have one. I know that the ones there have multiples. One-horned ones specifically don't exist in this particular
region,
yes,
which is Central Africa.
Yeah, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The Congo.
The Congo.
It's also known as Asekamoke, Asekamoke.
Maybe I'll just put a bunch of other different names in the description this time instead of us trying to pronounce these, because there's no maybe the Chipekwe or Irizima. Okay, those two weren't too bad. I'll put those ones in there too. I'll put all the ones I have. I got 5 or 6 right here. I'll make sure I include all of those in the description too. So this is just that reminder to myself right now. Rhinocorn's probably going to be the AKA.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it Rhinocorn for the rest of the episode.
Killer of Elephants is going to be the way to go, because I don't think we could call it EN or just Ntouka or Emela. If we just establish it now, we can call it whatever.
Yeah. Oh, man, we got to think of it now.
We can name him.
Mel.
We'll call it Emmy.
That's
Emele. We'll call it Emmy. That's fine. We'll just
Emmy. All right, Emmy the single horn.
Emmy the killer. Emmy the Rhinocorn.
Emmy the killer of elephants.
That's actually amazing.
It's gonna be a children's book.
I did see also. Say we mentioned Africa, but I saw that it was kind of spread throughout the Democratic. I believe throughout the Congo. That it was spread throughout the Congo and not just all of Africa, but it seemed like it was more than just one group of peoples who had identified this creature as actually existing.
Contrary to the Brosno dragon, where it more or less was that one village.
Yeah.
That may or may not have been exploiting the story for profits.
What?
Just throwing that out there. It's a possibility.
Okay. So I guess with Rhinocorn in mind, Connor, you want to start talking about what this bad boy looks like?
Well, let's begin with this semi-aquatic. So, kind of in the water. Just a little bit.
It just dips its toes in the water.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Just prances. Wet. It is larger than an African forest elephant, which is on average about 10.5 feet tall and weighing 13,000 pounds. It's quite
It's
large.
also about 20 feet long.
20 feet long, yeah. So
I had 11 feet at the shoulder was the size of the male, the average size of a male. The females are a little bit shorter, but the males are bigger for elephants. It strongly resembles a
rhinoceros.
ceratopsian.
Yes.
It's a group of
Dinosaurs.
herbivorous beaked dinosaurs that thrived in what is now North America, Europe, and Asia during the Cretaceous period. Specific members of this group include Triceratops and Centrosaurus.
Yes, which I believe has one horn. Centrosaurus, I believe, has one horn.
The way that sounds in my mind, yes.
Centrosaurus. I don't know what saurus means, but dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's often depicted as being like brownish gray, kind of like you would imagine an elephant. Probably similar in color due to its surroundings. Like we said, it's got a single horn similar to a rhino, but this one's got a long tail.
A heavy tail.
Yeah.
What I saw is a long, heavy tail.
Makes sense.
So again, that's what it seems to, because rhinos have like a tiny little wispy. Yeah,
like
not
a
like
little,
a.
I don't know, horse tail.
It's like the kangaroo equivalent size tail. So like kangaroos have like big ass tails they stand on. These guys got like a massive tail.
Yeah, it's not a little poop fly swatter. It's a large tail.
It's a large poop swatter.
Yeah,
poop fly swatter.
Poop drag.
It's a poop dragon. What?
The good old poop dragon.
Again, so single horn on its snout, like a rhino or a narwhal or a unicorn.
Hey.
Which kind of may help identify the creature a little bit if we we could find a horn, because like a reptile horn would be made of bone, like tusks, like elephants made of ivory, or as a tooth. Same with narwhals.
Yeah, there's some debate over what the horn is made out of.
Yeah, and African rhinos' horns are made of keratin, which is like a hair-like substance that's kind of like wrapped around a bunch and then solidified.
So somebody was talking about it. I might just be fucking making shit up right now.
Ooh. I found a noise on...
You found a noise?
I don't have a video. I have a description of the noise that it makes.
I mentioned a noise, but I didn't have a noise. I also saw that in one place that it had floppy ears similar to an elephant.
I saw in one or two places as well, and there's some carvings, like a statue of one of these things, maybe potentially multiple statues of these things. We'll talk about those a little bit more later, but they do appear to have
elephant-like
floppy ears in those depictions.
I don't recall ever seeing a picture of one with floppy ears. Okay, I guess the first one on there is kind of it looks kind of dumb to me. The first Google image of Emmy has smallish floppy ears, but I guess they're probably relatively close to in size.
The like colored one?
No, the very first one that's like a pencil drawing.
Okay, that's the second one on mine. There is a pencil one with some floppy ears.
Yeah, it looks kind of dumb. I prefer this other pencil drawing one.
Pencil one. Yeah, that one's a good one too. I'll make sure I link to these. I already have that in my notes to
looks
link to
quite badass. Looks like it could easily just tear apart an elephant.
Kind of just looks like an angry elephant.
Yeah.
Like if a elephant, a alligator, and a rhino
somehow mated,
all beat off in a vial. What?
Mad scientist got a hold of it.
This just took a fucking weird turn. Okay.
It might have showed up in Guild Wars, though I don't know what that is. I just clicked on the link, and it shows this fucking epic looking beast but it has more horns like an elk or something. Off track, but side note, there's that.
It appears to be a herbivore. I think I mentioned that before, but it is ferociously territorial. Allegedly kills elephants, hippos, and buffaloes when disturbed.
Yeah, I seen that it fed possibly on malambo plant, whatever that is. But yeah, definitely disembowel some elephants here and there.
That's fucking intense.
Yeah, it is. I guess it is. If it's like a dinosaur, I guess that makes sense.
They sound a lot like a dinosaur.
Yeah, and I'm into dinosaurs.
I believe you mentioned semi-aquatic. I do have noted for like the sound that it made was a snort or rumbling growl.
Yep, I also had that.
So if you want to get your best shot at one of those real quick.
That's probably more closely. Mine was an infant.
Mine was a day old.
They grow rapidly and die quickly.
So I said that this was at the beginning, I think this was another name for it, but I think this is actually, I'm going to have to cut that out because it's similar to the Chipique, which is a much, it's pretty similar, another like dinosaur-like creature in the Congo. It's pretty much a 60-foot monitor lizard that preys on hippos, elephants, and rhinos. It's also similar to the Ngobou, Ngoubou, and the Belu,
Bello.
MBIELU-MBIELU-MBIELU. It doesn't my guess. That thing resembles this.
Somebody just slamming on the keyboard.
Bashing the keyboard, copy and paste. But that creature resembles a stegosaurus. I have since drawn a comparison from the Congo to the ocean.
Yeah.
Stay the fuck out of that place because in my looking into this, there was at least 5 different dinosaurs that just like live in that place, and nothing good can come from looking for something that disembowels an elephant or a hippo.
While I want to see all these cryptids, I'm gonna keep my safe ass distance like here in the Midwest.
Get a goddamn drone and fly that shit around and look for it.
Somebody
that way.
else take pictures. I'll look at them on the internet.
And I didn't mention Mekele-Mbembe. That's another. Just because it didn't really necessarily resemble it in appearance, but again, it's another like this whole like living fossil thing where it's a dinosaur that is just somehow still existing today, pretty much at this.
Yeah. Going back to the tusk thing.
Yes.
So we were talking about how ivory tusks would be a certain kind of animal, and then
just associated with specific ones. Yeah.
If the tusk was made of bone, it would be a reptile. But the rhinoceros, there are rhinoceros with bone tusks and ivory tusks, but the ivory tusks aren't native to Africa. So
I believe it's made of keratin in Africa is what I had down. I don't know. Again, I'm not a scientist, but
yeah,
it is unusual, and I believe again that the African rhinos have multiple horns. They have like one big horn, then they have a secondary smaller horn.
Yeah.
So this single horn is different.
And it seems to be like rhinos have pretty pointed, but these ones and all the depictions that I've seen look like they're pretty fucking long.
They do appear to be much larger than the one on a rhino would be. It's like if you were to draw a picture of like a metal rhino.
A metal, yeah, absolutely.
Not like made of metal. Like if the rhino itself was like devil horns and a fucking mullet. Its horn would be extra long.
And the mullet
it would be really,
ears.
really horny.
Hey. So pretty much if you want to encounter one of these beings, just like go to the Congo and just like listen for snorting and rumbling, and it might be the thunder.
And you're gonna die either way if it's one or not. So
yeah.
There's also a chance it's a 550-pound gorilla
anything.
who's literally just going to rip you in half.
It could be an elephant. You're gonna die.
Could be an
it
elephant.
Could be a
it could
rhino.
be a rhino.
It
could
die.
be a gorilla.
It could be a
tiger.
A hippo
tiger,
will eat you
lion.
full.
Oh my god, hippos are. I didn't really realize until my adult life that hippos were monsters. Elephants too. If you make eye contact with a bull, it'll charge you. That's like a problem.
You throw a mouse at it.
Instead of a grenade, you're just like chucking mice at fucking
And it's just like,
1,300-pound creatures.
Freaking out. I don't know if that's a real thing.
I think they tested it on MythBusters.
I'm sure they did, and I'm sure I saw that episode. Speaking of, I think there's a new MythBusters. It's got 2 dudes on it as the hosts. It was okay. I watched the one episode where they test the girl's legs up on the dashboard while you're driving, and that girl just gets fucked up. So PSA, do not drive. I mean, don't be the passenger. I hope to God you're not driving with your feet on the dashboard.
So, like, if you're a passenger with your feet on the dashboard and you get in an accident, they just eject it from the car, like, every time?
No. Like, the airbag goes off and just, like, snaps
oh my
her
God,
in
I
half.
forgot about airbags.
Snaps her in half. Every time. Imagine that for a second. And then go watch that show. Fucking tacoed that bitch. Cinco de Mayo.
But she made it plastic, right?
Yeah, it's not a real person. But it's like a crash test dummy.
Yeah, but that's not going to be exactly the same as a human. I feel like that's...
I'm sure it wouldn't react exactly the same, but they, pressure test different parts of the body and just like fucking the velocity
I'm sure
that
it would still like break your bones in that way.
An airbag alone can break your bones, dude. People break ribs all the time in that shit.
Oh, your face gets fucked. What? Because it's coming out like 300 miles an hour, dude.
It's an explosion in your goddamn face. Sometimes they're more fucking dangerous than not.
The accident that you're in.
You got an offender bender. Bong! You broke your nose and your jaw. Though I don't have a better solution.
Right.
Expanding foam. Your whole car just fills up with foam instantly, and you suffocate to death.
A pillow fight.
Oh, okay.
Every time that there's a car accident occurring, a pillow fight breaks out.
The passenger just whips out his pillow and just starts beating you in the face with it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. All right. Get your pillows ready. Everybody should have a pillow underneath their seat. I want there to be like a air flight attendant every time you get in the car to tell you to make sure, like, go over procedures if you're getting in a car accident. If this happens, pull your pillow out from underneath your seat and proceed to bash in the face of the person sitting to the left of you.
There's no one sitting to the left of you. Please bash your own face in with said pillow.
You're the only person in the car. You're probably fucked.
If the only other person in the car is an infant,
bash them in the face with a pillow. I listen to podcasts about people punching babies, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is an adult program. You're a toddler and you're listening to this show. You're going to have a rough life.
Damn, I hope there's not anybody that's a toddler.
Somehow it has the technology to get to Counting Cryptids podcast.
And the attention span to listen to the words that we're saying or understand.
I don't know if anybody out there has the attention span to listen to a full episode. I'm just
arguably one person, but okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say max of 5.
I listen to every one of them when I make notes to edit the episode.
Not counting us. Of our almost 11,000 downloads.
You think that 5 people have made it to the end of an episode?
5 people per episode. I'm going to put it at that. About 50 people.
On this note, real quick sidetrack. I think we're removing some old episodes in a couple of days here.
I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot.
By the time this episode comes out,
I believe at the last day of May, I believe is an episode drop. We're going to drop those first 4
the ones that were like old episodes from when we were doing stuff before it had anything to do specifically with cryptids.
So it'll be strictly cryptids. Obviously, the names won't change.
Again,
none
of the
episodes.
like Wendigo will be like episode 1 at this point, so there won't be anything before that other than episode 0. It won't really matter if this is the first episode you've listened to. Don't go back and listen to those. I'm just worried, honestly, like we have more episodes at this point. I don't want anybody like jumping in and going to those as like episode 1. I know there's a disclaimer in the beginning of it, but I don't want them to just like that to be their impression of this podcast. So we've
upgraded and improved.
And again, it's just like as as time has gone on and we've done this more and more, I feel like we're getting better at it also. And it's, you know what I mean? Like the amount of information we have for Wendigo versus Brosno Dragon may be relatively, or maybe a decent amount different, but at the same time, like the quality of the episodes overall is probably better because of just how much, like the number of times. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like we've done this like 10 times before, 15 times before, 25 times before, whatever it is at this point, and we're just getting used to it.
Yeah, we're getting in the flow of
Our
things.
sea legs are being found.
Pod legs. We've grown some pod legs since those first 4 episodes. So those are going to get deleted here at the end of May.
So if you want to go ahead and make sure not to listen to those before then, that'd be cool.
Yeah, just skip those. That's fine with us.
Sorry to cut you off in the middle there, but
No, that's okay. I probably wasn't saying anything relevant.
I wanted to remember to talk about that. You had said you wanted to mention that. But
yeah.
It's not like it really fucking matters.
We talked about it, and we kind of decided that that's when it was going to happen, and I totally forgot about it.
We've been talking about taking them off for a long time, but we wanted to at least give you a heads up in case you didn't listen to them, and for some reason you think it's... God damn it, we're stopping talking about this.
Just in case you really liked them and you wanted to download them for later listening. Don't know who you are.
I mean, or you could just like email us and we can.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no problem with that.
What's
On to
that
the
email
stories.
address, Connor? Oh, never mind. Let's go to the stories.
You can reach us at countingcryptids@hotmail.com.
Cool.
Real simple, real easy. Hit us up.
Also, anything on social media and yeah,
etc. etc.
Stories
time. So
stories time. Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So the first public acknowledgement of this animal, first time the public learned of this, maybe acknowledgement is not. I had so 1933. It describes a animal similar to this. Also 1933 happens to be the first modern sighting of Nessie. Want to throw that in there? I stole that from Cryptopia. Thanks, guys.
Shout out to those dudes once again.
Yeah, there's gonna be a few shout outs.
I may or may not have a couple of crypto nuts, buttons, stickers, and I don't.
Flyer?
What the fuck is that one?
That small flyer?
Oh shit! This would be funny if I could think of what it was called, but instead it's just really embarrassing. Is it a postcard? Is that what you get for someone when you go somewhere?
It's postcardy.
We got a Cryptonauts postcard here.
Yeah, it's a postcard. Come some nice card stock.
Send it to you from Cryptopia.
Yeah, Cryptonaut podcast. If you're into cryptids, check them out. Check out their website, Cryptopia. Plug.
Don't listen to them. They're better than us.
We're not at all affiliated with Cryptonaut or Cryptopia. But, spoiler.
But they are.
Spoiler. Yeah, they are. They're one thing.
Also, shout out, it's 420.
Hey!
The time.
That just means you can take your bong rips now, even if you're just listening.
Oh, yeah, no, that's, yeah, so if you happen to indulge.
It's like time travel. Hit your bong and think about that.
Would be the time.
So like I was saying, the first appearance, or the first time the public learned of this animal was in a book by J.E. Hughes called 18 Years on Lake... Fuck.
On Lake Fuck.
Bangwelu.
Okay.
That sounds alright.
Again, apologize for any mispronunciations in this episode.
Yeah, it was similar to what Emma's looks like, described.
Okay.
It was apparently killed by Waushi tribemen on the shores of Luapula River that connects Lake Benguela to Lake Mwera. Mweru. Yeah, Mweru.
In Mweru.
So, yeah. Apparently one
I said
died.
that really Italian instead of African, but that's fine. I'm really white, so...
So the
if you're playing along at home, that's time for another shot.
That'd be good.
If we could turn this into a drinking game, I wouldn't be opposed.
Yeah. I mean, if
all of our downloads on Friday night.
If you're already drinking every time we fuck up a word, you're already drunk.
As you sip on your apple juice.
Spill it everywhere. Like I'm drunk.
I know I'm the one drinking.
I'm a fool.
I'm on my third JMO. I should be drinking tequila.
Yeah.
Or is that racist?
Dude, it's Cinco de Mayo. It is a racist holiday.
It is a pretty racist holiday.
Like what's Leprechaun Day? What the fuck is that?
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's Day. Also racist.
Yeah, but it's racist in the way that's like it's white people, so no one cares.
Oh, that's true. So the second time that Emmy was talked about, this one is actually...
It was by name, yes?
Yes, by name. In 1954, so 21 years later.
54? I thought it was 55.
54, you're close. You can find that in the journal Mammalia, where Lucian Blackow stated that Emela-Ntouka was larger than a buffalo and dwelled throughout the Likaula swamps. He was also mentioned that it kills elephants, buffaloes, and hippos when disturbed.
Nasty.
Yeah. 1954, that wasn't too long ago.
60 years? 64? Like quick math?
You said you had some wood sculptures? That's my next story. And it's not really a story.
Yeah, no, I didn't even put anything in my notes about it. I just like read it and I was like, okay, we can talk about this.
Yeah, so apparently Mikhail Ballet, probably pronounced different.
Mikhail
Gorbachev.
Yes, thank you.
Tear down this wall. Did I already mention 2004? Okay, so in 2004, I didn't even finish this fucking...
No, you didn't. We started talking about carvings, and you made it like 2 seconds in, then we got distracted talking about TCG.
God damn it.
We got to start talking about Unbelievable, because Mikhail... You started saying the name, and we got distracted. That's where we're at. How about you start this goddamn thing over?
Yeah. So in 2004, the founder of the Crypto Center, Mikhail Ballet, discovered a small wooden sculpture of an Emela-Ntouka. I fucked that up.
Of Emmy.
Yeah, which he photographed. You can find photographs on our description.
They will be there.
So, and did you have any other sculptures or?
I had heard that
things?
there was at least 2 of them that were remarkably similar. And I will make sure I post a picture of the one that I found. I've not seen pictures of the other at least one, maybe a second. I kind of thought I saw one where there's like they were definitively talking about 2 and then said something about a third.
I don't look at
supposedly
pictures
there's
enough.
multiples.
I don't look at pictures enough when I do my research. It's just like I hate reading. I don't even know why I read my research. I should just watch videos.
That I'm not going to? I don't watch any videos.
I tried a while, like on an episode a while back. It was so god awful I couldn't go back. According to Dr. Roy Meckel, Emmy seems to resemble a ceratopsian, like you said before, with horns. So I put a name to pretty much what you had said in the intro, that beginning. He came across these conclusions while searching the Congo for Mekele Mbembe, which we're going to do an episode about.
I believe that one's next, which usually I don't want to tell you, but I think I'm going to.
Yeah, if you made it 45 minutes into the episode, thank you.
Congrats, thanks. You get to learn that that's we're doing next week.
Yeah, and the famous Lauren Coleman.
Of course.
Cryptozoologist.
Cryptozoologist?
That one. He just believes it is a semi-aquatic ape, maybe just, got used to the water.
A semi-aquatic ape?
Ape, sorry, dude. Semi-aquatic rhino. Definitely says rhino. Just
I was gonna say I have aquatic rhino theory written down by Lauren Coleman's name here.
That's the one. That's the theory.
Okay.
Not aquatic ape theory. That's a different thing.
That was the mermaids episode.
Yeah. Back to that one. That's all I had. That's my notes.
Okay. I mean, other than like the aquatic rhino would just be like the living fossil theory. You know what I mean? Just like somehow like a small group of these couple specific kinds of dinosaurs existed, like didn't die off. There was a small enough population that never took off. They're just barely maintaining to stay alive. I want to say the last known sighting was like 1981.
Yeah.
So nobody's seen one in like 40 years.
Yeah. Besides the wooden sculpture that Mikhail ballot saw in 2004.
Man. It's rough. It's hard out here for a pimp.
Yeah, and it could easily have survived and hidden for so long in the Congo, like highly forested.
I don't think that's a super well documented area. Like what's in there. I think they discover new things all the time, and there's some shit going on down there, and there's some issues with some maybe some government issues or something. I'm not entirely certain how to word. There's like problems with like poaching and like other like groups of people and things like that. Like there's some weird shit going on down there.
Yeah, it's not anything like the United States, or it's much less civilized. I don't want to say that.
If you Google image search the Congo, the first like 5 pictures are a 400-pound gorilla on a makeshift stretcher being carried by 25 men. So there's that.
There's still small tribes and villages. Like they're just carrying around apes. Not saying there's not people fucking bad shit.
Whatever, man.
Yeah. Congo's huge. I think they could definitely survive there without being seen in small numbers.
So I have a couple of I guess things I gotta talk about now.
Do it. Talk about it.
Okay. So this is like my pros shit.
Mm-hmm.
So the size of a triceratops is about 9.5 feet tall.
Okay.
26 feet long and weighed between 13 and 26,000 pounds. That's right about the same size of an African elephant.
Maybe just a little taller.
A little bit heavier, a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter. This is the same size that Emmy's supposed to be. It doesn't have that signature hood or the 3 horns that a triceratops has, but we know that something this size can exist in today's climate. It's not like it's unrealistic, because we know the African bush elephant is right about the same size. So arguably, like things like this can exist just in the world. They can't exist. So that's an argument for the fact that it could be out there, and if there's a small enough number, and it's just you're not walking into the place that it's supposed to be, or the people who are just like, oh fuck, and then they bail.
Yeah, I'm not sticking around to find out more about this.
This one's
animal.
fucking compelling as hell. And so then there's another. So the Arsinoitherium, Arsinoitherium.
Okay.
Again, all this is gonna be in the description, so hopefully it'll help. It's an extinct genus of mammals closely related to elephants, sea cows, and the extinct Desmostelanis, which is what I wanted the Doarku to be.
Okay, yeah.
They were rhinoceros-like herbivores that lived in the late Eocene and early Oligocene of northern Africa from 36 to 30 million years ago in areas of tropical rainforest and at the margin of mangrove swamps. This creature, while smaller than Emmy, possessed the heavy tail and not only 1 but 2 snout horns.
Okay.
So not like the rhinoceros that we know today. They were 2 next to one another.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. More similar to teeth, I suppose. Fangs.
I'll have a picture of this in the description. Both of the fossils of this creature and like a artist rendering, a imagining of this. It's interesting as hell because there's a lot of creatures that seem to specifically resemble this that have existed in the past and even exist today but aren't quite the same, because that heavy tail is, there's not a rhinoceros that has a tail that I would describe as long and heavy.
Not at all.
I mean, we sort of talked about this earlier, but the fact that there are so many different kinds of dinosaurs being spotted in this area is pretty unsettling, and it kind of makes you wonder, like,
is there
like maybe like a small section that was not as affected as the rest of it, or like
genetic
somehow
testing.
Like it was able to, you know what I mean? Like what? There's fucking 6 species of dinosaurs that have survived in like super small numbers for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years. That seems very unlikely, but goddamn, this shit weirds me out, man. I don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah. Could it be genetic engineering? Nope.
Like government experiments, genetic engineering kind of thing?
Yeah, or just a lone mad scientist.
In the middle of the Congo?
What better fucking place?
So he takes a rhino and an elephant and an alligator and beats them all off into a vial?
Yes. Exactly. I wouldn't do that. They had the technology and knowledge of how to do all these
If they had
things.
the technology and knowledge of how to beat off an alligator, who wouldn't do it?
I'm sure somebody out there knows how to beat off an alligator. You just have to get 3 people that know how to beat off an alligator.
No, so I think males, like, you have to go inside to find the penis. There's it's almost like a cloaca, like on birds. There's like a hole, and inside that hole is a dick.
Okay.
I'm, again, not a scientist, not a biologist
Is
of
it
any
retractable, or is it like...
kind. How do you have a retractable hole?
you have a penis inside the hole. I figured it's like a little worm.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I'm under the impression. Again, this is my work computer, so I don't really want to be like looking up like crocodile reproductive organs on here. That might be something weird to explain to my boss.
No, I'm all about it.
That was my pros list.
So they lay eggs. That's not helpful.
Do they lay eggs?
Crocodiles lay eggs.
Crocodiles lay eggs. Yes, they do. They're reptiles.
Is that what we were talking about?
No.
I thought we were talking about those.
Crocodiles?
I thought we were talking about crocodile penises.
Oh, we were talking about
looking it
reptile
up.
penises.
I'm looking up crocodile penises.
Like pictures?
They have a slit between their tails.
And then inside that slit is a penis?
Cloaca, yes.
Yes! Oh my god, I'm right.
Yeah, roughly equivalent to the uterus and fallopian tubes of mammals. The cloaca holds the penis, which they keep internally when not in use. So yes, it pokes out. That was under a pet's website, by the way. That crocodile information.
Yeah.
Who has a crocodile as a pet?
If you live in Florida and one ends up in your pool,
Yeah,
you just
acquire
inadvertently
a pet.
own a crocodile as a pet.
Well, I guess he's mine now. I would name him.
I'm gonna name him Jeffrey.
I definitely would name my pool alligator.
Well, of course you would, because you would have to, like, oh no, it'd be an alligator, not a crocodile. Damn. Say if it was a crocodile, it'd be perfect. It'd work with your family name.
Yes.
The CK thing.
Okay, I have to give him 2 names. Nah, just one. Cornelius. Done.
Cornelius is pretty cool for a crocodile. It's Allie is the basic one for an alligator. Alfred. Armani.
Be a blinged out
Augustus the alligator.
That's it. If I ever have an alligator walk into my backyard and make a nest.
If you have an alligator in
Angus.
your backyard in the middle of Iowa, there's probably an issue.
Got it out of the zoo. I'm not giving it back. I'm holding it for ransom. I've named him Angus Young.
So my cousins, their last name is Young.
Yes.
When their last kid, when she was having him, we were trying to get her to name him Angus. I don't think she got it.
Yeah.
So we just like kept pushing it, like on all fronts. Like everyone was like really like it. Go with, like, she didn't hate it. She was considering it. Like they went with the Jack. But
damn. Angus Young would be such a badass name to have nowadays.
So also we were pushing for Olden.
Olden Young?
Old and Young. Olden. Yeah. We were just trolling her fucking hard the whole time.
Olden is not a bad name.
Old and Young. Anybody out there's last name is Young looking for a name for their kid?
Hit us up.
Olden or Angus.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're considering one of those 2 names and we just mentioned it, I think that's a sign.
Yeah.
If by chance you listened to this episode of the podcast and named your kid after what we recommended, please write in and let us know.
Please do. That would be the greatest achievement of my life. Not that
inadvertently naming someone's child Angus Young.
Yeah, not that I've named my own child, that I've named your child. You're welcome. I do want to give a shout out and a thank you to my friend and coworker Josh, who has helped with some research as of recent.
Yes, thank you, Josh.
Appreciate them links, dog.
Yeah, boy.
Forgot to mention on the last one, I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember you. I don't know if you said. I don't think you said anything last time, and I think he started right around the time that Brosno Dragon.
Yeah, send me some links for Brosno Dragon. So appreciate that.
Thanks, boy.
And he listens. So
that's also cool.
He also listens out loud at work for everybody that I work with to listen to.
That's maybe a little awkward, but I don't work there, so fucking whatever.
Yeah. Well, most of the time, people are gone by the time.
That's fair. I say fuck a lot, so that's cool.
I'm also guilty on that charge. So, fuck.
I feel like when I die on my tombstone, it just has to be like quotes, and in the quotes, it's just literally going to say ...
Fuck.
Fuck.
So that
I don't hate that idea.
Oh, I had a really good one the other day. I forgot what I needed to put on my tombstone. Killer of elephants might be up there.
That's pretty metal.
I'd have to kill an elephant first, though. Damn. I refuse to kill an elephant.
That's fair. That's one of the things that's like, even if an elephant is attacking you, you're like, well, what do? There's a lot of us. There's not that many of him. He's got like 18,000 pounds on me.
You're a much better person than I ever was.
An elephant is a better person.
Elephants are so nice. Have you ever seen them like help people for no reason?
What?
They just
people?
like, yeah.
I've seen people help elephants and elephants help other elephants. I haven't seen elephants help people.
No, I think they cry too. I think they've like help people, like they can like tell when they're in trouble and shit, and like don't stomp you to death.
You're not thinking of dolphins?
No, I don't think I'm thinking.
Or like how horses won't step on you?
I fucking hate horses.
I'm weirded out by horses. I don't think like horses are just like a cute animal. They're
No.
cool, but they're too big. Anything that stands taller than me on 4 legs is too big.
I agree.
That is megafauna.
Yeah, why isn't anybody talking about that?
Because there's not like a ton of wild horses. There's some.
So I was thinking the other day, like, there was no horses in America until Europeans brought them over. How fucking terrifying would that be for a Native American to see a dude with a rifle on a horse?
Yeah, they believe that they thought it was like some sort of creature, like a combination of
Like a minotaur or something.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's terrifying. I don't even know what the equivalent of that would be to something to us now. I don't think there's a thing.
horses are big, man.
And that's some weird technology stuff.
I might go find a horse and take a picture next to it just to show you how big it is.
I mean, I know people that ride horses.
You don't know how tall I am, but I know where I could find multiple horses to take a picture with. Like in a second, we could go there. I could go somewhere and go in the pen with the horse. I know where I could go to do that.
I'm gonna go take a picture with your horse. But this gets to the time in our episode where we talk about who we think will win in a one-on-one battle.
Not yet.
No, we gotta talk about what we
gotta get
think.
off the fence, homie.
Yeah, well, we gotta whether it's real.
All right, so I will go first today because I always ask you, and then you want me to go first.
Yeah, I don't like going first. It's too much
what
pressure.
I will say is that I think that there is something out there that exists. If it hasn't been cited in 40 years, it's probably not existent today. But did it exist 60 years ago? I think, yeah, maybe this thing actually did.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
I think this is the first like definitive yes that I have had in the history of this podcast. But I think I'm fully on board with like a modern day something resembling a dinosaur or a mutant rhinoceros, semi-aquatic rhinoceros existed. Yes, I would say yes. If you have multiple groups of people identifying it across the same place, there's a lot of different names for it. I mean, it's some compelling shit. It's hard for me to turn away. And again, like there's not a ton of stories, so it's a little bit different than some of the other ones where you have like 1,000 stories, but you're like, yeah, this doesn't really sound like that one. You know what I mean? This is like
a different thing.
You got these carvings of this thing that these people saw, and you're like, well, I can clearly see that it is a rhinoceros with a large tail, so that is not a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
So you know that there's something else, and it's, again, we'll get into this a little bit in another 2 weeks with Mokele-Mbembe, because that's going to be more of the same of this same fucking ridiculousness. Like, it's hard to argue with some of those, and I know I'm usually the one to argue those, I think. But again, I don't think one exists currently today if they haven't been seen in 40 years. That seems unrealistic to me.
There's plenty of animals that have
if
gone
the amount
extinct
that's left
since
is so,
then.
yeah, exactly. So maybe it's just the last of a dying breed. The Spartans built to fight and born to lead.
I'm with you. Like, the real only thing, and I don't even think is a thing, is that it could be a misidentification of a rhinoceros.
The tail's what's fucking throwing me, man. Like, really, the tail is a big part of it.
The only thing I'm thinking is, like, if it's walking through trees, maybe you don't see that part and you just draw it in with your imagination. But as far as I know, most, if not all, of the sightings are of native people. They know what a rhinoceros looks like. Most people know what a rhinoceros looks like.
Yeah, the people would know what a rhino looks like. So, like, if the tail was, like, that much different, but it still looked very similar to it, you'd be like, in a picture, yo, what the fuck?
Definitely compelling.
It's I don't necessarily think that one is walking around right now. But in the last like way more recently than, maybe it's some sort of like cultural memory sort of thing, but even like having something to carve a statue off of, like, to me that means that you fucking saw the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and maybe it's been going extinct for years.
I would imagine it's
and
been
this
fucking
is, 1933, 1954 is maybe like the very end, like just hanging on.
I want to say I saw like 81 was the last known sighting.
Okay,
but I don't have a specific like recounting of said sighting.
Right. There's just
again like very little stories, and so this one's weird because a lot of the other ones it's like a lot of stories, but I'm like, yeah, but I get the metaphor involved in this one, or like, yeah, but could it just be like a different species of something that you don't actually know what is, or like it looks a little bit different. But this is so okay. So if you think that it did exist, do you think it was a dinosaur, or do you think that it was some sort of like aquatic rhinoceros hybrid mutant motherfucker?
I don't think it's a aquatic rhinoceros.
Okay.
Given the tail. I mean, that, like, for it to just like evolve from a rhino to having a massive tail just because it went in the water, that doesn't really make sense to me unless it was like a more like finned tail.
What do you think it's a mammal, or do you think it's a reptile?
I would say it's probably more along the lines of an elephant.
Mammals have like heavy big tails.
Not many.
I saw a beaver the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, not a vagina, like an actual beaver.
I saw a woodchuck not too long ago. Tried to point it out to Caden, but it scurried away.
Was it a woodchuck or was it a marmot?
It was a woodchuck. I don't know what a
How
marmot
much
looks
wood
like.
could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? We already got off the fence, so...
Well, what do you think? Is it an aquatic rhinoceros or a dinosaur?
A rhinoceros is kind of dinosaur-looking as it is.
Right.
So you have these depictions where in your mind, you've seen all these things of dinosaurs, and you're like, wow, I'm drawing that immediately to a dinosaur. But maybe it's not. It's harder... Shit. It's harder for me to think of a creature existing that we've just like, that's that big that we never knew existed, than it is be like, yeah, that was once a thing, but it hasn't existed in 65 million years or whatever it's been. But like maybe there was a small population of them that existed this entire time that have slowly evolved and adapted, which is maybe completely unrealistic because, like that's what birds came from, right?
Yeah.
Was like, but I guess they weren't like the big dinosaurs. They were the smaller ones that then kind of turned into that sort of thing. So maybe if like you're still thriving in your environment. There's no reason for you to need to change and adapt and those sort of things.
I feel like there's always room for improvement, though.
Exactly. So it seems like maybe why would you then have not changed in that long?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say not a rhinoceros. Wow. This is your first appearance today, huh? You gotta come in right at the end and get all fucking noisy. Boy, I don't know. It's really rough. Part of the problem is a lot of the pictures are throwing me too because they're so much like dinosaurs, and it's tugging at the heartstrings of my childhood. I think it's a reptile.
Yeah?
I will say I think it's some sort of reptile, so I'm gonna go with a dinosaur.
So you're
I think I'm with the living fossil.
you thinking more scaly skinned?
Well, I feel like rhinos have pretty scaly skin.
I feel like they have like a rough hide. Like it's more.
I would go more
skin-like.
scaly. If it's semi-aquatic, I feel like it's more scaly.
Okay, that would be interesting. I didn't see any depictions where it had, obvious scaly skin.
I think you said you were on the same page.
I don't think it's reptile.
Oh, you think it's an aquatic rhinoceros? I thought you said you didn't.
I don't
think
think
it was an aquatic rhinoceros.
I don't picture it as having scales like a dinosaur.
So you picture its body as being more like an elephant.
Well,
so
like
you think it's a mammal,
and a rhino. Yeah.
So it would give birth to live young. I mean, if it's semi-aquatic, then in my mind, semi-aquatic mammals are elephants, hippopotamus, sea lions, sea cows, things like that. So you think the skin is kind of similar to one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I don't think it is a ceratops is because I think that the ceratopsians have...
They have that hood.
Yes, the plate.
I want to say not all of them did.
So we got to get to the 1v1.
Yes.
What
Bunyip.
do we think? Yes, Bunyip versus this week's Emmy.
Emmy
Emmy and the Bunyip. That's a great book name.
and the Bunyip.
Maybe a band name even.
I think my money is on Emmy.
Yeah.
I feel like the killer of elephants could take an angry bird.
Regardless of how it looks, I think Emmy beats the Bunyip.
So you said that you agreed?
Yeah, I think Emmy takes the cake. So reiterating my point. The Bunyip just seemed to be just a bunch of shit put together. Nothing really definitive.
Like a weird bird of some sort.
Yeah, but Emmy is just, what it is. But anyway, let's get on to the 1v1 segment of the podcast.
All right, what do you got for me?
All right, over on the Facebook, we had it was kind of split.
Okay.
I'm going to say Twitter because Twitter was 100% Brosno Dragon.
I'm sorry, you mean Bunyip?
We argued about this before. Bunyip, correct.
100% Bunyip, which is what we said it was too. It's the Bunyip, right? Can you say Bunyip?
Bunyip.
Nice. And then, so over on Facebook, they switched sides. And so Brosno Dragon with 57%, and then the remainder 43 were all for Bunyip.
On Facebook? Okay,
yeah.
So Brosno was ahead on Facebook, but on Twitter. So overall, out of everything, it sounds like the Bunyip
wins.
which was what we had said as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That was a tough one, though. Like, that was one of the more even matchups, I feel, that we've had thus far.
I mean, I feel like they're usually like Twitter and Facebook are both the same and both 100% or close to one-sided.
I think is that the first time that we've had one be the actually like more in favor of the other than the other? Which was a really poorly constructed sentence.
Yeah, I understood what you're saying.
Fine.
I got you.
As long as you got me, that's cool.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the listeners know what the hell you're talking about on a podcast where all they can hear is you talking. Thanks for checking out this week's episode.
If you want to get your 2 cents in, answer this week's polls on social media.
You can find us on Twitter at Count Cryptid or Counting Cryptids on Facebook.
If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, or you just want to chat, you can email us at countingcryptids@hotmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and tell your friends.
He's been Connor.
He's been Jacob.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks for another fascinating installment of Counting Cryptids.